Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
I hope you support the local judges and legislators in pushing through bond reform.
Victims and their families want answers when it comes to battling the low bond problem here in Nashville. Repeat offenders awaiting trial end up free to walk the streets and in some cases commit even worse crimes. Fox 17 News, Karen Aguilar joining us live in West Nashville tonight, where a bail reform panel just wrapped up. What's the latest here, Karen?
Megan, from judges to the DA's office to crime victims, people are working towards finding a solution for repeat offenders who are let out only to reoffend.
They shot her, and they shot her again and again. And as they ran away, they continued to shoot her.
Nancy King is upset, recalling when her daughter was shot in Green Hills by a repeat offender. Joining this bail reform reception and panel hosted by Tennessee Voices for Victims. Her daughter survived, but she hopes it won't happen to anyone else.
He was out on bond from these other crimes when he attacked and shot Gracie.
King's story is one of the many where criminals have been let out of jail for low or no bond. Convicted felon Anton Rucker is one example. Metro Police say he shot multiple people and killed one man Easter Sunday. Rucker was let out on a $50,000 bond. He paid only $5,000 to get out. Police say he committed another crime after. The list goes on. Judges and magistrates are blamed for making the decision. For the first time, we are hearing from judges in tonight's panel, our own Dennis Ferrier moderating it. Judge Steve Dozier says they have to follow the law. He says legislators are trying to increase bond, and he is behind it.
They're trying to add about 20 new charges to, if an individual is charged with those 20 new crimes other than capital murder, we can deny bond.
He says it is up to the DA to revoke or increase bond.
I don't know where the philosophy comes where we can let violent criminals out, especially on low or no bond.
The judges here say they don't do fact-finding, but only what is presented in court by defense attorneys. Bobby Ballinger is a defense attorney.
They advocate for their clients to get the appropriate bond.
The discussion was a way to figure out change.
I hope you support the local judges and legislators in pushing through bond reform.
In 11 days, there will be a slew of new laws to help stop the repeat offender problem. Reporting live here in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Also in Operation Crime and Justice, Nashville residents coming together to talk about the impact that violent crimes have had on their lives and the city. Tonight at the Brentwood Library, a Vanderbilt professor of surgery, a Covenant mother, and a survivor of the Waffle House shooting put the spotlight on gun violence. Experts agree gun violence is a growing problem in Nashville and the consequences are deadly. One of the survivors of the 2018 Waffle House mass shooting said it's time for state leaders to do more than just have conversations about reform.
Moving past that into legislation that makes sense, that affects our communities and helps us rather than hurts us. If the people down at the Capitol are not going to make sensible gun laws for us, we're going to vote them out.
Gun violence is a topic that Fox 17 has been covering for years. To see our extensive coverage on this topic, go to our website, fox17.com, and search Nashville gun crimes. Also in Operation Crime and Justice, one person is dead, another in a Nashville hospital after a shooting in Clarksville. It all happened at a home on Timberline Way this afternoon. Police say when they arrived, they found two people shot. One died there inside the home, and first responders took the other survivor by lifelight into Nashville. That person listed in critical condition tonight. Police right now still trying to put the pieces together to find out exactly what happened.
How do we manage that growth while still keeping Nashville's rich culture?
Tracking the economy, Nashville's tourism and hospitality industry says there's a plan to balance growth while keeping locals in mind. As Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker explains, this plan is taking into account input from more than 100 community leaders.
These strategic plans have, of course, changed over the course of the last decade. Before, there was a big emphasis on how do we grow Music City. Well, now that we're there, there's a big focus on how do we manage that growth. ranked a top global destination year after year by major travel outlets. There's no denying that Music City is a major hotspot.
We are going to see, I believe, unprecedented growth in the next decade, just like we have over the last decade.
Colin Reed with the Ryman Hospitality has worked hand in hand with the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation, meeting with key stakeholders in the city to create a detailed framework with areas of focus moving forward, including improvements to downtown Nashville.
Davidson County is the largest contributor to state taxes.
Reed says these improvements are critical for both the state and the city.
About a decade ago, we would collect in Davidson County about $25 million for hotel taxes. The last 12 months, that number was $125 million. And we believe that if we have the same growth rate over the course of the next 10 years, that number at the end of the next decade will be more like $600 million.
And with Nashville tourism a huge economic engine, visitor growth is also expected to grow to more than 21 million people in 2034.
If we aren't safe and clean, our visitors will stop coming.
Deanna Ivey, the president and CEO of the Nashville CVC, says cleanliness and safety is a big focus, benefiting both tourists and those who call Nashville home.
We can't control that as the CVC, but we can help advocate for it and we can help influence it. And that's part of what this plan is.
Ivey says they're working with police, the mayor, and downtown partnerships to implement these suggestions.
For this full strategic plan and these 8 areas of focus, we have this on our website, fox17.com. For now, reporting in downtown Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage, since 2020, tourism numbers in Music City have seen a steady increase. Here's a look at the numbers of visitors into Nashville. During the pandemic, we had nearly 9 million visitors. A year later, when things started to reopen, we jumped up to 12.5 million visitors. In 2022, we added another 2 million visitors. And then last year, in 2023, we had nearly 15.5 million visitors. So we want your input. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing Nashville right now? We've had almost 950 people weigh in. And most respondents, 48.3%, say it's the crime, 32.5% say it's the growth, 12% said it's the homeless crisis, 7.3% opted for other. This poll is live right now. Still time to weigh in and cast your vote. Just scan that QR code right there on your screen. It will take you over to our X page. Our handle is @Fox Nashville, and we'll show you updated poll results a little later tonight in the newscast. Well, here's a live look over Bridgestone Arena downtown. This weekend, the Nashville Predators Craft Beer Festival will be taking place. And it's events like this one and many more that convinced the Academy of Country Music to name Bridgestone their Arena of the Year. Bridgestone has won this award 6 previous times. Keeping it all in the family. Well, Tennessee getting some financial help from Uncle Sam tonight. President Biden just approved Governor Bill Lee's request for a major disaster declaration. This surrounds the tornado outbreak and flooding that did hit the state May 8th and May 9th. Cheatham, Murray, and Sumner counties are part of the 12 counties eligible for help with everything from debris removal to restoration of infrastructure. Yeah, well, we've certainly seen some severe weather play out here in 2024. And here we are, first day of summer, and pretty predictable.
Yes, it's hot. Yeah, and that's going to continue.
Imagine that.
Welcome to summer.
Yeah.
We are starting off quiet here. First day of summer, just hot. And we get into the weekend. Temperatures will hover in those mid to upper 90s, close to 100, with heat index values in the 100 range, right around 100, if not looking at some upper 90s out there. So we take a look at the radar, and again, you can see that everything is staying well west of us, north of us as well. We have more heat advisories to our north, but we will be looking at temperatures again for tomorrow in those mid 90s for Friday. Live look from our South Nashville camera here. Again, quiet night expected, a kind of a stuffy night again with those temperatures dropping back into the low 70s. Currently sitting at about 85 85, in fact, at the moment with mainly clear skies. So we'll be looking at a little more humidity to move in, and that is going to play a role in how much our temperatures swing from the morning hours to the afternoon and again into the evening. Low temperatures tonight in those mid 70s in Nashville, a little cooler outside those city centers. If you're watching last night, we talked a little bit about why that is the case, given the heat island that we have mainly in urban areas, including Nashville here at 74 for the overnight hours. We'll talk more about the warm air that is going to stick with us, how long it'll be with us, and we'll have a sneak peek a little later into July. That's all coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Well, new charges for a woman accused of killing her daughter in East Tennessee. What her defense...
22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feed America for the Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Program. You can donate by scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
In Operation Crime and Justice, an East Tennessee woman accused of killing her daughter is back in court, indicted on new charges. Megan Boswell now faces 20 counts, including felony murder, after she was arrested 4 years ago in the disappearance and death of her toddler, Evelyn Boswell. Now, her attorney is asking the court to relocate the upcoming trial.
Megan Boswell walking into a Sullivan County courtroom in a black and white jumpsuit. Ankles shackled. She hears the new charges against her. First-degree premeditated and intentional murder in the death of her 15-month-old toddler, Evelyn Boswell.
Certainly changes the game from the standpoint of so far there's been nothing new to indicate why this was brought 4 years later, as opposed no new discovery, no new anything as to why now.
The state says there is new evidence and is fighting Boswell's request to relocate the trial to another city due to all the media attention this case is getting.
What we've asked is to move it out of Sullivan County. Obviously, I think this case has been picked up in most of the major news markets in Tennessee, but it probably has not been examined as heavily, say, in the Nashville market or the Memphis market as it would be here because it's not local to them.
I've always maintained that we believe that we can pick a jury that can fairly hear the facts of this case and render a decision based on the facts and the law.
A statewide Amber Alert for 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell went out in February of 2020 after Megan Boswell's father reported her missing, although no one had seen the toddler since December of 2019. Evelyn Boswell's remains were eventually found on a relative's property, and authorities say Megan Boswell has changed her story multiple times.
A judge is set to hear Megan Boswell's change of venue request August 15th. Well, tonight, fire investigators are working to see what sparked flames at a mid-state recycling facility in North Nashville. They did get the fire contained pretty quickly, but the smoke became an issue because of the materials inside. Thankfully, though, nobody got hurt. Summer solstice, the first day of summer here. Longest day of the year as well?
Longest day of the year, yes, and from here we will begin to lose daylight, but the sunset will actually continue to stay as late as it is for a couple more weeks.
What time is sunset now?
It is 8:07 at the moment.
8:07,
yes,
wow.
8:07 p.m. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up in just a little bit. But again, first day of summer officially rang in at 3:51 this afternoon. We check out, though, the next several days. Yeah, it's going to feel like summer. Highs in the upper 90s. I did take away the 100 forecast. Mainly because it's looking like we may see a little more humidity creep into the area, and that actually affects our temperatures in the way that it doesn't allow them to slide as much. So we'll be in the low 70s for the morning, but may not quite reach that 100-degree mark for the afternoon hours this weekend. We're splitting hairs here. We're talking about 98, 99 versus 100 degrees. As we take a look at tomorrow, temperatures will be around 87. We're around 94 as we head towards the afternoon. Mainly sunny skies should be the story for us. It will start to feel a little more humid out there The dew points, again, is the measure of the moisture in the air, and that's what we use to measure how uncomfortable it begins to feel. We're in that upper 60 to around 70 degree category, which is right on the edge of humid to just downright sultry outside. So we check out the heat index forecast through the overnight hours and then into tomorrow morning, and you can see here overnight into Friday, we are looking at the real feel to stay in those mid 70s, and then by tomorrow mid-morning we're already feeling like low 90s here in Nashville, mid to upper 80s toward the Cumberland Plateau. We should top off in the upper 90s for how it feels with the heat index, and then as we head towards Friday night, early Saturday, again low 80s to upper 70s how it feels in the morning. By mid-morning here, we're looking at some mid to lower 90s and touching 100 degrees. It's possible for folks in southern Kentucky and in portions of middle Tennessee, but does not look to be widespread, not quite heat advisory or code red criteria. So we're going to be close to it though. And of course, when we get this warm, it's always a good idea to make sure you're taking breaks, drinking lots of water, and you know all that because it is summertime in Tennessee, right? As we take a look at rain chances here, not much relief from this heat. There is not really a good chance for rain as far as an overall well-organized chance for rain anytime soon. These are going to be run-of-the-mill pop-ups that'll be possible. Majority of us stay dry, but can't 100% rule out a stray shower that may drop a quick downpour and then move on. 30% chance on Sunday, slightly higher chance there. And then going into Tuesday and Wednesday, it looks like we may end up with a better chance for a few of those showers and storms. Through Friday, you can see here again, most of us stay dry. Future track hinting at maybe a stray shower. Then we get into Friday night, early Saturday morning. Once again, looking at a pop-up that'd be possible, but most of us stay dry. I wouldn't cancel your outdoor plans if you have any ready to go for the weekend. Coming up, we'll talk about some weekend events that are going on, and we'll also have a look at what it's looking like into the beginning of July, leading up to the holiday. It's in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
An emboldened Russia bringing new threats that may reach out of this world. I'm Christine Frizzell with a new dire warning coming up.
And taking your eyes off the road, the danger of distracted driving.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover. Hundreds of millions of people across the world are impacted.
New tonight, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are taking a new look at the threat that Russia poses to the world. As Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell explains, that could mean sponsoring terrorism. By the way, you can vote on this issue by scanning the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during the story.
In response to growing global isolation, Russia appears to be on a friendship tour. Vladimir Putin seen here meeting with leaders in Vietnam, following a 2-day visit in North Korea, where he signed a mutual defense pact with dictator Kim Jong-un, prompting a new bipartisan effort on Capitol Hill for Russia to be designated a state sponsor of terrorism.
Russia deserves to be in this small, selective club of atrocity-committing killers.
Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine 2.5 years ago, with much of the West joining forces to assist Ukraine, Russia has relied on countries like China, Iran, and North Korea to keep its economy moving and its weapons supplies flowing in. And the warnings run deeper than just here on Earth, with fears that despite signing a United Nations treaty vowing not to do so, that Russia may be positioning itself to deploy nuclear weapons in outer space.
This would be a catastrophic and devastating attack upon Western economic and democratic systems. Vladimir Putin knows this. Checkmate.
House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner warning of an emboldened Russia, already flexing its military muscles and space capabilities, and calling on President Biden to declassify the status of Russia's program. He's accusing the Biden administration of sleepwalking into what he calls an irreversible day zero, the day Russia launches its nuclear anti-satellite weapons into orbit, the day after which he says no one will be able to rely on space.
This crisis is the Cuban Missile Crisis in space, and the administration is failing. If there's something that's going to touch every human being on the planet, that's probably something that should be at the top of the list.
A list of threats that appears to some to be growing by the day. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.
Well, during that story, we had a QR code linked up to this poll asking the question, do you think the Biden administration has been tough enough on Russia? The results here on your screen, almost 300 people weighing in, 78.4% of respondents say no, the Biden administration has not been tough enough on Russia, compared to just 21.6% that say yes. Thanks so much for voting. Right now, a push to curb distracted driving. Leaders in Williamson County realize the risk posed by the all too common habit, so they're taking a stand to get drivers to put their phones down while driving. Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey shows us how they hope to create this change.
Just on Tuesday, Williamson County Sheriff deputies along with Franklin PD officers and the Tennessee Highway Patrol pulled over more than 100 people. 79 of those were for hands-free driving violations. They also grabbed a few people for speeding, and it also led to a drug arrest, all in an effort to try to keep those roads safer and remind people to keep their eyes on the road. Now, according to AAA, distracted driving kills more than 3,500 people a year and injures another 362,000 people a year. Now, that averages out to 10 deaths per day. As for new drivers, the teens on the road who text and drive increase their chance of crashing 23 times, according to the National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration. So officials not only using this to try to make those roads safer, but also as a reminder for adults, if you have kids in the car, whether they're current drivers or future drivers, not only to teach them the rules of the road, but be a good example as well. In Brentwood, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, in your community, hitting the links for more than just bragging rights, the 615 open match celebrity golfers with those who love the sport, all to raise money for Souls for Souls. Players brave the hot temperatures at the Hermitage Golf Course to help the charity that provides shoes for those in need. This particular tournament focuses on helping homeless children.
So we know that there are more than 1 million children in the United States that are experiencing homelessness, and there are more than 5,000 of those kids right here in the Middle Tennessee area. And that's every single year that we need to provide shoes to those kids.
Fox 17 partnered with Cromwell Media for the event, and our very own Jill Jelnick, Caitlin Miller, and Brett Luna took part, along with former Titans coach Jeff Fisher and rocker Chris Daughtry. We're looking ahead to tomorrow when Live Golf will tee off here in the Mid-State. The tournament will take place down at the Grove, all the way here in Williamson County. It's about a, 45-minute drive from Nashville. Those behind Live Golf say it's different from the PGA. There are no cuts, so everyone stays throughout the tournament. Live also features team competitions. And another big difference here, there is music during the tournament.
We're very much a festival style atmosphere, and so what that means is not only are you going to have fun while golf is being played, but we do music afterwards. So we have the famous Dan and Shay, who have won multiple awards. They are performing directly after play, about 20 minutes after play on Saturday.
Should be a good time out there. Organizers say that there are still tickets available for Friday, but they are going fast. All right, Katie, don't rain on the Live Golf tournament or they won't come back.
I know. It looks like, for the most part, the weekend is going to be dry. I can't completely rule out a stray shower, but it does look like the majority of the weekend should be okay. Now, as we take a look at Friday for the Live Golf tournament, temperatures should top off in those upper 90s for the day. Could feel close to 100, and the winds down in College Grove will be looking at about east-southeast at about 5 miles per hour. So hot, steamy, and most likely dry. A very small chance for a shower expected for the day on Friday. We also have the Western Kentucky State Fair going on. This is going to be in Hopkinsville and going on this weekend beginning tomorrow. Temperatures once again up in Hopkinsville will be quite warm, right around 93 for Friday, 95 for Saturday, and 96 as we head towards Sunday. More on what it's looking like for the beginning of July. That coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Well, Charlie Woods, the 15-year-old son of Tiger Woods, earned his way into his first USGA championship. Wednesday, he had the leading score among qualifiers for the U.S. Junior Amateur next month at Oakland Hills.
Tiger Woods was 14 when he qualified for his first U.S. Junior, reaching the semifinals. He won his first U.S. Junior Amateur a year later at Bay Hill in 19 holes and is the only player to win the U.S. Junior 3 straight times in a row. Players have to be under the age of 19 before the championship ends.
Watching and waiting for the Supreme Court to weigh in on 2 cases that could directly affect former President.
Tomorrow, the U.S. Supreme Court will release more opinions. One could impact former President Trump and the upcoming presidential election. Fox 17 News' Matt Gelka breaks down the big decisions that the court will make.
And you know, I love Milwaukee. I was the one that picked Milwaukee.
As former President Donald Trump continues on the campaign trail, almost a month removed from his guilty verdict in a New York hush money case and awaiting sentencing, 2 cases from the country's high court still hang over his head.
I feel that as a president, you have to have immunity. Very simple.
Trump argues a president needs immunity from criminal prosecution for things done in office. The Supreme Court will weigh in with an opinion that could impact 2 pending federal cases against him, one having to do with taking classified documents to Florida and another related to his alleged role in the January 6th Capitol riot. Lene Erickson with center-left think tank Third Way says a decisive ruling for Trump could put presidents above the law.
I do not think a president should have absolute criminal immunity. I think that the laws of the United States should apply to everyone, including the president, and I think that the Supreme Court is going to agree with that.
Others fret an immunity ruling could give Trump the powers of a king, something the conservative Heritage Foundation says is overblown.
Well, that's just hyperbole and nonsense. Look, we have appropriate mechanisms to deal with presidential overreach or overreach by other executive officials. And it's also important to keep in mind that presidents already enjoy immunity from civil suit.
There's also a pending January 6 case in front of the justices. The opinion would apply to January 6 defendants facing obstruction of justice charges and could shorten sentences. One of those defendants could be Donald Trump if his cases move forward.
It certainly would, at very least, affect their sentencing, and it might in some cases result in the people not being convicted at all.
Donald Trump's attorneys have used the immunity argument to try and get 2 of his cases dismissed. The Supreme Court's still pending ruling almost guarantees that the former president will not be on trial again before November's election. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Coming up, talking more about the first day of summer and how it's looking as we head into early July.
And not for everyone, why you may want to. More concerns tonight for parents who choose to use weighted sleep products for their babies. As more warnings are issued, some companies are pushing back about the potential risks. Fox 17 News' Angie Moreski takes a look at the newest concerns in tonight's Spotlight on America report.
There's nothing more precious than a sleeping baby, especially when you're a stressed out, sleep-deprived parent. Weighted infant sleep sacks and swaddles are the latest products promising to help, but they are wrapped in growing controversy.
I'm worried enough to warn the whole country not to use them.
Rich Trumka is a commissioner on the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the government agency responsible for protecting the public against dangerous products. The CPSC told Spotlight on America its staff is aware of multiple fatalities associated with infant-weighted products, but said the investigations are ongoing, so we're unable to provide additional details.
Babies wearing these products have died.
Yes.
The CPSC joined multiple safety agencies and organizations, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, warning these products are not safe for infants due to concerns they can make breathing more difficult by pressing on the still developing chest of an infant.
I have very serious concerns.
Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal wrote letters to 2 top manufacturers of weighted infant sleep products, Nested Bean and Dreamland Baby, questioning them about what he calls misleading safety claims to attract vulnerable and unsuspecting parents and caregivers.
Do you think there is enough evidence that there is risk and danger here?
I think there is more than ample evidence to justify the warnings that have been issued.
It's like a bean bag in there.
Nested Bean And Dreamland Baby told Spotlight on America their products are safe. Both companies declined to do an interview but sent statements. Dreamland Baby saying they proudly stand behind the safety and efficacy of its gently weighted sleep sacks with no reported adverse events attributed to them. And Nested Beans saying safety is their #1 priority and they have 0 safety incidents or injuries resulting from their minimally weighted design. The CPSC won't reveal which company's weighted sleep products were involved in the multiple deaths they are aware of due to a provision in the Consumer Product Safety Act, Rule 6B, often called the gag rule, which requires them to get a company's consent to publicly name them. Spotlight on America searched the CPSC's saferproducts.gov website for incidents involving weighted sleep products.
He stopped breathing.
We found 5 incident reports, including 2 associated with Nested Bean, claiming that consumers observed difficulty breathing and potential for asphyxiation, and 3 involving Dreamland Baby, including 2 claims that the product was associated with an infant's death. Despite those claims, neither product has been publicly identified as the cause of death in any incidents. In April, Trumka issued a stark warning about all weighted infant sleep products, urging retailers like Target, Walmart, Nordstrom, and others to stop selling them. Many did.
Do you think there is enough scientific evidence that these products are unsafe?
I look at results. Right now, the results that are concerning me are the deaths that I'm aware of in these products.
Why not issue a recall then?
I can't talk to any actions that the agency may or may not be working on in the future.
Even though Trumka and the CPSC did not name Dreamland Baby, the company is threatening to sue the CPSC, alleging the agency violated Rule 6B and is hurting their business. Senator Blumenthal is now asking the Federal Trade Commission to investigate Dreamland Baby and Nested Bean for false and misleading trade practices.
My fear is there could be death and injuries. That's my fear.
Safety advocates say they want to be proactive to avoid a possible repeat of what happened with Incline sleepers when more than 100 babies died while those products remained on the market before being recalled. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.
Spotlight on America is continuing to ask questions about why the government does not act more quickly to recall products that it considers dangerous. Angie will have more on that in her next report. Well, earlier in the newscast, we told you about our X poll that's live right now, asking what do you think is the biggest challenge facing Nashville right now? We've had 1 vote shy of 1,000 votes, so a lot of people weighing in here. And 47.9% say it's the crime is the biggest challenge. 33% say it's the growth. 11.7% say the homeless crisis. 7.3% say it's something else. We'll have another update for you on these numbers tonight. A little later in the show. Each night, look for a new poll on our X page that you can participate in. All right, first day of summer, no surprises here. It is hot.
Yes, quite warm today. And as we head into the weekend, we're going to be warming up a little more.
Cool. You're going to put the lid on this anytime soon or what?
Right. It's looking like at least the next 7 days. No.
Yeah, don't make any promises.
Right. 90s will definitely be the story. Upper 90s for the weekend, and we'll be looking at the humidity to go up a little bit as well. So heat index values will be around 100 degrees. Today, the first day of summer, longest day of the year, and of course, we're talking about in daylight, the most amount of daylight that we see on the year here. Sunrise was at 5:30 in the morning, sunset at 8:07. It amounts to 14 hours of daylight, 14 hours and 37 minutes of daylight, I should say. That was today. So moving forward, we will at least keep the sunsets. Again, I'm always trying to find the silver lining here. We will keep the sunsets late through July 2nd. So through July 2nd, our sunset will actually stretch another minute from 8:07 to 8:08 p.m. And we'll see those sunrises occur later in the morning, making the day shorter. So that's where we're getting shorter daylight or less daylight a day, but we're still getting those later sunsets here at 8:08 through July 2nd. And then it starts to go backward. As we take a look at tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in those 70s. We're looking at a mainly sunny to partly cloudy sky, up to 81 by 9 o'clock in the morning. Wanted to look ahead and see what we could be looking at as we head into the beginning of July, especially with July 4th just around the corner. This takes us actually through July 4th here. This should have changed. I changed that. I remember doing it. I promise you, this actually goes through the last few days of June and through July 4th. So we are looking at temperatures to be well above average. There are the dates there, the 26th of June through July 4th, well above average as far as temperatures go. And then as far as rain chances go, we'll call it equal chance. So what this just shows us is that the trends do continue to show warmer than average conditions appear likely for us here. Doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that we won't see days at or below average, just the general trend showing that more of those days should be on the warm side. So this is our long range. This takes us through the 2nd of July, 26th through July 2nd. That's almost 2 weeks. And again, when we get this far out, you want to take this with a grain of salt as far as the actual numbers go. But it does show, at least trending wise, that we could find by next Wednesday, the 26th, through the beginning of July, maybe temperatures in those upper 80s, but then swinging back into the low 90s for the last few days, at least of June, into the beginning of July here. So for now, I'd say it's probably your typical temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s for July 4th. A stray shower possible. I'm not seeing any big signal either way for lots of showers and storms or extreme heat or extreme cold for now. So we're going to just kind of go with climatology at this point. We're still a couple weeks out, so we're still gathering data. As far as temperatures go, the next couple of days, which we're much more confident on, of course, when we're this close, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be in those upper 90s. Heat index values right at, if not just over 100.
Oh my goodness, come again? Triple digits? All right, give me a second to cool off here. Still to come. In the economy, the days of pain at the pump may soon be behind us. Gas prices expected to fall as much as 10% in the coming weeks. Economy experts say domestic demand and supply conditions have improved. Gas prices likely peaked in mid-April at a high of $3.67 per gallon. AAA says the average cost of a gallon of regular gas is now $3.44. The average is $3.01 here in Tennessee. In your consumer news tonight, a warning for pet owners. The insurance that you took out for your pet may suddenly disappear. Nationwide Insurance Company says that they are looking to cancel about 100,000 pet care policies across the country. Nationwide says that its status as the nation's biggest pet insurer is threatening its business viability as vet costs go up. The company ensures cancellations will not be decided based on pet age, breed of animal, or prior usage of insurance by owners. The average pet policy is $676 a year for dogs and $383. In your business news, Amazon trying to be more environmentally friendly. The company says that it's shifting from the plastic air pillows used for packaging to recycled paper. The e-commerce giant says it's already replaced 95% of the plastic air pillows with paper and is working towards complete removal by the year's end. Almost all customer deliveries for Prime Day, its big sales event, which happens next month, will contain paper.
All right, it's not your imagination. The bugs are biting. I'm Liz Bonus. Why mosquitoes get worse in this kind of heat? It is just ahead.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
If we're presented a motion to revoke their bond, we're going to hear it.
In Operation Crime and Justice, we're hearing from judges for the first time on the debate over low bond. This happening during a panel discussion on bail reform as we're seeing more repeat offenders free awaiting trial, committing more crimes. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live in West Nashville, where this debate just wrapped up tonight. Karen.
Megan, judges say they're not the only ones responsible. And right here behind me at Clementine Hall tonight, we also heard from a DA, a defense attorney, and a victim's mom regarding low bond. The reception and panel was hosted by the Tennessee Voices for Victims. During the panel, judges said they don't do fact-finding, only what is presented in court by defense attorneys. A defense attorney said they ask for bond with what they feel is appropriate. It can include the client's home life and previous convictions. Nancy King is the mother of a victim who was shot in Green Hills by a repeat offender. She says she feels prior convictions have not been looked at closely.
I hope you support the local judges and legislators in pushing through bond reform. I'm sorry it had to hit me so close to home before I started paying attention to support the needs for victims.
In 11 days, there will be a slew of new laws trying to stop repeat offenders from committing yet another crime. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, continuing Operation Crime and Justice, a call for change after growing crime in Bellevue. Community leaders want a new police precinct there after they say that they're seeing more and more issues. Fox 17 News has tracked everything from men using a fire extinguisher to rob a woman to a deadly shooting involving teenagers in a popular park. Those living in Bellevue say enough is enough, especially when it comes to teenage crime.
When youth don't have a goal or a particular thing that's going to distract them or put them in the right direction, they get distracted in other ways.
The Metro Police Department says it's increasing patrols in the area. Continuing Operation Crime and Justice, an East Tennessee mother who's been behind bars now for 4 years awaiting trial in the disappearance and death of her 15-month-old daughter is facing new charges tonight. Megan Boswell has been slapped with an additional first-degree murder charge on top of 19 other charges. Because of the attention this case is getting, Megan Boswell's attorney is asking the court to relocate her trial to another city.
There shouldn't be a rush to judgment in this case. No evidence has been presented yet. I have people text me, talk to me about their thoughts that she's guilty.
We're rescheduling, but we're going to have the hearing, and we're slowly but surely making our way to trial in February.
A judge is set to hear arguments on relocating the trial August 15th. Well, get this. Metro Police say a woman confessed to trying to set a fire inside a discount store. The reason? She said she was bored. Officers say Adriana Ellison used an electric lighter that she just bought to work. She just brought it to work to set a display on fire. She's now charged with attempted aggravated arson.
If we aren't safe and clean, our visitors will stop coming.
All right, a live look downtown here in Nashville. The city's tourism and hospitality industry says they've come up with a plan to keep up with Music City's growth. With 8 areas of focus, the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation worked with key community stakeholders to come up with this roadmap. It includes improvement to cleanliness and safety downtown. Colin Reed with Ryman Hospitality says it's important to implement these changes and attract more tourism dollars from Nashville. It's a high economic driving force for the state.
About a decade ago, we would collect in Davidson County about $25 million for hotel taxes. The last 12 months, that number was $125 million. And we believe that if we have the same growth rate over the course of the next 10 years, that number at the end of the next decade will be more like $600 million.
In 2024, the city projects more than 15 million visitors, and with that number expected to jump to more than 21 million by the year 2034. So we want to know what you think. What is the biggest issue facing Nashville right now? We've had 1,012 people weighing in, so more people jumping in to vote here. And out of all the options you see on your screen there, 48.1% of voters think crime is the biggest challenge facing Nashville, followed by growth. That's 32.7% think growth. 11.8% say it's the homeless crisis. 7.4% say other. Each night, look for a brand new viewer poll here in our show that you can take part in. You can vote on our X page. Our handle's at Fox Nashville. All right, if you think it's hot now, buckle up.
Yeah, we just continue to climb here as we get towards the weekend.
Where's the end?
I know. I think this weekend, at least for the short term, should be where we top off, and then we'll start to stair step down.
Like maybe we do need some rain, cool us off.
A little bit, yeah, and we're just not seeing a lot of it right now. This is a look at the radar, and all of it staying well north of us and to our west, and that is thanks to a big ridge of high pressure. A lot of times these systems will actually ride the ridge, and so you can see that out here, and it's keeping us dry with just a stray shower chance at best. Live picture here downtown, and South Nashville looking pretty. Broadway also looking pretty as well. Some folks out and about. Very mild though, sitting at 83 degrees with a clear sky, and should look at mainly clear skies as we go through the overnight. We take a look at our low temperatures for the overnight hours. Mid to lower 70s here in Nashville. Outside of city centers could be in the upper 60s. We'll walk you through the heat that is on the way as we head into the weekend, and talk heat index too. That's in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Still to come tonight at Dane. In Operation Crime and Justice tonight, police in Williamson County make more than 100 traffic stops as they crack down on distracted driving. 79 of those drivers were cited for hands-free violations. The operation was led by the Williamson County Sheriff's Office with help from Franklin Police and the Tennessee Highway Patrol. The traffic stops also led to a drug arrest and 6 violations for driving with a suspended license or no license at all. If caught distracted driving here in Tennessee more than once, people under the age of 18 will get 7 points on their license, which is enough to have it suspended for up to a year. In your community tonight, Amazon funding affordable housing options here in Music City. The company announcing plans to invest another $1.4 billion on top of the more than $2 billion that they already put towards housing here in Music City. The work is funded through Amazon's Housing Equity Fund and has already helped create over 3,000 affordable housing units here in Nashville. Amazon helping with the new park, 24 apartments in East Nashville, as they recently opened the Cherry Oak Apartments at Casey Place.
We kept hearing affordable housing, and so we all got together and this fund was established, and so we were really excited to just be able to let that be one part of our community impact investment.
Amazon also committed $75 million to create at least 800 homes near WeGo transit corridors. Amazon's Home Equity Fund is also active in its 2 other headquarter cities. Well, new tonight, Wilson County commissioners voting to fund a new courthouse. The new building will cost the county $84 million. And while some leaders agree that it's needed, other commissioners are concerned about where that money will come from.
I agree we need it. The need's not my problem. I understand it. We just can't afford it. And without it being a burden on our citizens. And that's who we represent.
I've looked at this. I've looked at the price and cost per square foot. And I think we're really getting a deal for the need that we have. I really do. I'm afraid if we back off of this, costs are only going to get higher. And we're going to end up spending more money down the road because we know it's a need.
The current courthouse has been in use since the late 1960s. Live Golf teeing off in Middle Tennessee, the unique tournament here in town.
All right, it's not your imagination. The bugs are biting. I'm Liz Bonus. Well, looking ahead here in just a matter of hours, Live Golf will tee off for the first time here in the Mid-State. The tournament will take place at the Grove down here in Williamson County. It's about a 45-minute drive away from Nashville, just south of the city there. And those behind Live Golf say it's different from the PGA. There are no cuts, so everyone stays through the tournament. Live also features team competitions, and organizers say they really want to make it feel more like a festival.
We actually have about 150 to 200 speakers around the entire course, plays music throughout the entire tournament.
Organizers say there are still tickets available for Friday, but they're going fast. In your community tonight, the Metro Action Commission offering free fans and AC units to certain people in need. The elderly, those with young children, and the disabled qualify for help. You can sign up to get help through August 30th. There's a link on our website. Just go to fox17.com.
In your health news tonight, we are officially in the first day of summer, and that means more mosquitoes. In tonight's health news, Fox 17 News medical reporter Liz Bonus explains why the bugs bite more in this hot weather.
Hey there, everybody. I noticed the past few evenings that I got bit several times out walking once the sun goes down. So, of course, I wanted to do a little digging. And sure enough, mosquitoes are what's called ectothermic. This means the air temperature influences their body temperature. In hotter weather, their metabolism increases, making them more active. This activity makes mosquitoes hungry. Their meal of choice is called a blood meal. It's the blood of humans, so you get a mosquito bite. The mosquitoes also like hotter temperatures for laying eggs, putting you at higher risk for mosquito-related illnesses, such as the West Nile virus. Public health providers with Ohio's Hamilton County say to get rid of them, you have to get rid of standing water.
Water that goes stagnant or standing for a few days is what mosquitoes breed on. They lay their eggs in the water, and that's how they reproduce. And so if you're able to eliminate standing water, such as in your gutters or bird baths that might go stagnant, then you will reduce mosquitoes around your home.
Your risk of getting bit by a mosquito also goes up when it's hot outside because mosquitoes are attracted to scents, such as sweat. So protection on your skin with repellent is also critical to reducing West Nile virus risk.
For almost all people, West Nile virus goes unnoticed. Unfortunately, in a few individuals, the symptoms related to the disease can be extremely serious and can be life-threatening.
Now, West Nile virus can cause a range of symptoms according to the CDC, so be on the lookout for high fever, severe headaches, nausea, vomiting, a sore throat. Any of these that get worse instead of better, you need to pay attention and call your doctor. You can ask them about the right next steps for your health. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Parts of Galveston, Texas, underwater after the first named Atlantic storm of the season making landfall here in the U.S. This is aerial footage of the coastal towns showing homes surrounded by floodwaters from the remnants of Tropical Storm Alberto. It's prompted the governor of Texas to issue a disaster declaration. Alberto made landfall in Mexico early this morning and has now been downgraded and is fizzling out.
Well, the heat will continue for us here as temperatures climb into the mid to upper 90s going into Friday and then into the weekend as well. Near 100 will be possible. We were forecasting 100 earlier. I did take it out. We're splitting hairs here, but the reason why I did is because the humidity looks to be going up a little bit, and that actually affects how high our temperatures can go. So we may end up just shy of 100 as we head into the weekend, and all the while looking at maybe a stray shower or two, but really no significant rainfall anytime soon. So Friday, right around 96 degrees. I think we're up to about 98 for Saturday and Sunday, 99 Monday and Tuesday. Again, we're talking about a degree or two. It's going to be hot. Humidity, though, will make it feel a little hotter in those low 100s as we head towards the second half of the weekend, especially here, that average line there in yellow, just to give you perspective, of course, above average for this time of year, which is right around 89 to 90. Friday temperature at 10 a.m. will be in the mid to upper 80s with mainly sunny skies, up to 94s. We head towards 2 and 5 o'clock, looking at those mid 90s. I mentioned the humidity going up, so dew point again is our measure of how much moisture is in the air, and that is really the key into measuring how uncomfortable it feels for us all. So in those upper 60s to around 70, when we get past 60, you really begin to feel humidity. 65 is humid, and then we get into 70 range. That's oppressive. We're feeling quite sultry. So we check out our heat index forecast as we head through the overnight tonight and into early Friday morning. You can see the beginning of the day, it'll feel like those 70s, but mid to late morning already looking at low 90s as to what it will feel like, and close to 100 degrees as we head towards the afternoon hours. Into the evening hours, we drop back into those low 80s. And then Saturday, we're going to do it all over again with heat index values right around 100 most likely, all the while looking at mainly sunny skies for the day. Rain chances remain pretty small through the weekend. Maybe a few more chances for showers moving in Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So future track remains pretty quiet too, but notice it's not 100% dry. I think it's possible we could see a stray shower. I wouldn't cancel your plans or alter your plans. Just keep it in mind that if you do see one of those stray showers, It's either your lucky day or your unlucky day, depending on what you're looking for. But as we head through the evening hours, a lot of that rain will clear out. Any rain that we have, slightly better chance, I think, for a shower as we head towards Saturday and then again on Sunday. But again, I wouldn't alter your plans here. This is going to be isolated across the area. We check out your 7-day forecast. Temperatures will be in the upper 90s to around 100. And that'll continue through the beginning of next week. A few showers and storms, slightly better chance of those happening by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Storm surge from Alberto brought flooding to the South Texas coast. The next high tide in the area is not until tomorrow morning. A dust storm known as a haboob blew through New Mexico on Wednesday. It reduced visibility and gave us this eerie-looking sunset in Las Cruces. And this dog in Ohio has the right idea, trying to stay cool in this brutal heat wave.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
And you can see more stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk. It starts at 8 a.m. on our sister station, MyTV30. A TikTok ban involving a clothing brand and transgender athletes. What the company says about the controversy.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are part.
Banned from TikTok. Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins taking a look at an athletic clothing brand at the center of this controversy.
Stand up. TikTok taking down the latest ad from XXXY Athletics.
If you think girls and women's equality matter, stand up.
Then permanently banning the company from advertising on its platform. Founder Jennifer Say started the brand to protect women's sports and spaces. This as the country grapples with how to handle transgender athletes.
I think it's very compassionate towards women and girls, and being compassionate towards women and girls is not being anti-trans, but somehow that's how it gets positioned in the world today. This one did take me aback because we had not had any trouble with any other platform.
TikTok reportedly said the ad violated their community guidelines, but weren't specific as to which guidelines were violated. We reached out to TikTok and did not hear back in time for this report. Suspending the XXXY account only appears to have amplified the message. Conservative social media accounts resharing the ad over and over.
It's kind of caught fire. So if the intention was to silence us, that has not worked at all. I think the ad in the last just couple of days has gone completely viral and has well over 3 million views at this point. Certainly not something we could have afforded with an ad buy.
Say says they plan to appeal the ban. 25 states now have laws in place barring transgender athletes from competing in girls and women's sports. For the upcoming Olympics in Paris, trans women who went through male puberty are banned from competing in swimming, track and field, and cycling. Transgender rights groups such as Athlete Ally call the ban disappointing and discriminatory. I'm Kayla Gaskins reporting.
Impacting the way you fly, what recent problems could mean for summer travel.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover. Hundreds of millions of people across the world are impacted by lower back pain. I'm one of them. The one activity that a new study says could help relieve that pain, alleviate that pain. That story Friday on Fox 17 News This Morning. We'll see you then.
Continuing coverage, since 2020, tourism numbers in Music City have seen a steady increase. Here's a look at the numbers of visitors to Nashville. During the pandemic, we had nearly 9 million a year. Later, that's when things started to reopen. We jumped up to 12.5 million visitors. By 2022, we added another 2 million. And last year in 2023, we had nearly 15.5 million visitors. Earlier in our newscast, we asked you to weigh in on our X poll, and here was the question tonight. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing Nashville? And we had 1,023 people weigh in, 48.1%. So almost half of those that voted tonight say it's crime. 32.6% say growth, 11.8% say it's the homeless crisis, 7.4% voted other. So thank you so much for voting tonight. Each night we'll have a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in. All right, a live look now over Bridgestone Arena. It is hopping tonight. This weekend, the Nashville Preds Craft Beer Festival will take place there. It's events like that and many more that convinced the Academy of Country Music to name Bridgestone their Arena of the Year. Bridgestone has won this award 6 previous times. Keeping it all in Music City. Well, record travel predicted next month for the 4th of July holiday to exceed even pre-pandemic numbers. And as Fox Business correspondent Grady Trimble reports, recent problems with some planes do not appear to be keeping travelers from booking a flight.
This 4th of July week is going to be one for the books for travel. AAA says almost 71 million Americans are going to travel somewhere over the entire week of 4th of July. That would be the most ever. The vast majority of those folks are going to go somewhere by car, but a record number will also get on a plane. Nearly 6 million people are expected to fly. That's up almost 7% from last year. And this comes at a time when there are difficulties in the air travel industry. The problems with Boeing, for one, have been making headlines for months now. On top of that, there's a threat from American Airlines flight attendants that they could go on strike. But flyers are not deterred. Part of the reason for that, airfare is down from last year. The travel booking app Hopper says domestic round-trip tickets are down 18% this year compared to last. And if you're planning a big trip to Europe, those round-trip tickets are down 37%. On top of all of that, a lot of customers are still choosing to spend money on experiences over things.
For younger generations, this prioritization of travel expenditure, it's not just a post-pandemic trend. It's the way that they view their finances and discretionary spending. And they're going to continue to prioritize trips, vacations over things like buying homes, buying cars until they're much older.
Hopper says we're seeing the rise of what they call bleisure travel, a combination of business and leisure. Since so many people can work remotely, they're choosing to do that in exotic locales. In Washington, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
All right, Katie, I think we're all